What is meant for me, I cannot lose. What is not meant for me, I don't want anyways. We are in a day today of some highly fated endings having to do with relationships and matters of the heart. Deep, complex intertwinements with others may be coming to an end at this period of time, releasing us into a process of growth, moving forward in a much greater alignment with our authentic value and our authentic potential. We recently had a new moon in Scorpio that was conjunct Venus and was also a solar eclipse highlighting the south node of the moon. We are in a fated period right now of some endings and release coming through in the realms of love and money. And this energy that we are in today is highlighting this to an extreme. We have Venus coming into a conjunction with the south node of the moon today. The Sun and Mercury are there in Scorpio as well. This is also forming a loose opposition to Uranus in Taurus. Things are being divinely realigned today, you guys, in a way that is most compatible with our growth going forward. Let's get into this report. Let's break down this energy and let us see how this energy is unfolding and how it may be impacting us in our journey on the ground today. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me till the end of the report, we're also going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out in correspondence with our astrology today, just because I like to tap the field from more than one modality to get a more well-rounded overview of how things are playing out on an energetic level. But we always start with the astrology, and that is where we are starting today. And I do feel like today is one of the days that this eclipse cycle generally that we are in has been sort of referencing and emphasizing in terms of what aspects and transits are coming into play for us today. Now, in the context of the energy playing out today, like I said, we do have an exact Venus South Node conjunction going on. And this is extra significant because we just had a South Node eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, the sun and the moon. It was also a new moon, and this was an exact conjunction with Venus. So it was the sun, the moon, and Venus in the sign of Scorpio alongside this solar eclipse that was coming into fruition because of the fact that the south node right now is in the sign of Scorpio. The south node's about endings. This is a south node eclipse, also a new moon. So this is really like a new cycle having to do with the process of bringing some things to an end, bringing some things to a close. And today we have Venus, who was the planet that was in a conjunction with this eclipse, with this new moon, coming into the conjunction with the south node of the moon itself, which was responsible for this eclipse. So I feel like vibrationally, Venus having been significant in this eclipse new moon itself, coming into the alignment with the south node, I feel like a lot that this eclipse was signifying is likely to be being triggered or activated or playing out somehow in the energy today, because this alignment is activating and emphasizing very much the vibration that that eclipse was indicating. So I feel like what was being foretold with that eclipse could be like playing out in the energy today. So I do feel like today may be a more significant day, and it's interesting also, we are talking about November 2nd, 2022. Here we go with these series and these sequences of twos again, and of course it's an 11 month, which is also a two. This month of November might be quite significant in our 2022 year, and we are actually drawing near the end of this year, this process that 2022, this is more significant numerology. It's a 222 numerological, significance that we're talking about, which has a lot to do with balance and harmony and creating like a vibrational shift within us in a way that allows us to refine our vibration so that we can attract that which is truly fulfilling to us. It's a number about soul fulfillment and divine union. But in order to receive that, we have to do actually what today is indicating, which is experience perhaps some of these fated endings and get some closure to things from the past that are stifling our growth at this point and keeping us out of the truth of our potential, keeping us from truly recognizing and embracing the truth of our value. Now, we have to remember, Taurus and Scorpio, this axis, and especially this nodal axis that we have going on right now, this 18-month-ish period while the nodes are transiting Taurus and Scorpio, to me, I feel like it's indicating a karmic detox period, because Scorpio represents, the toxicity and its deep wells of power and like deep psychological things and like enmeshments with others and relationships to power and things that are hidden and unseen and under the surface, but yet have this like very strong sense of power and control over, what may be unfolding in this, that, or other area, or, whatever, the Scorpio vibe. And then Taurus, though. Taurus is very much about like growth. It's about things that grow from the earth, and it's about hard work, and it's about cultivating, and it's about, using resources and using our hands to grow or to build something that can create some type of external value or comfort or a sense of just like stability, this earth-based energy in our external world. It rules the second house, and to me it's sort of like the seed like busting through the soil. This is like this Taurus vibe. And so when we're dealing with the axis of Scorpio and Taurus in terms of the south node, also this is the karma, this is the karmic patterns, and this is what we are releasing ourselves from. This is what we are breaking through based on the recognition of the resources and the talent and the potential and the value that we hold inside of us. This Taurus energy that we need to bring forth, that we need to nourish, that we need to, cultivate and go through this process of reconsidering the value and the potential of, so that we can create something external, something physical, something tangible that can stabilize or beautify or create abundance or security in our tangible physical world one way or another. Somehow that is what this energy is doing. It's helping us to take back our power from where we've been surrendering it out of any perceived lack inside of us, as a result of a recognition of the truth of value, the potential that we have inside of us, and our ability to reclaim that power and use it inwardly to go through this process of growth, okay, and create these tangible external results. And I also feel like this is an important nodal axis to be having activated right now as we are in this very critical time period, as we are going through this very turbulent shift of the ages, because it's also talking about a need to really get back in touch with our ability to be more resourceful, more self-reliant, more like self-sustaining, and less attached to the things that have been like essentially feeding us in the past, but that have been keeping us from really being able to like stand on our own 2 feet and do it on our own and activate this potential that we have within us. Another aspect of this is universe is really calling us all, with Uranus and Taurus right now as well, to activate our destiny, to activate our potential. Uranus, this is the planet that awakens us to our authentic personal truth and our authentic personal potential, and asks us to step into that, and tells us that if we do take the risk to, be our own unique individual self, that we will be supported in that process and come to a point where we can actually give back to the greater good of humanity and of society. That's really how this Uranian archetype works. And Uranus always also puts things right for us. So this is a process right now with the nodes in these positions of awakening us to the truth of our own potential, our own destiny. This process of self-actualization that I talk about as well, I feel like is also very much related to the South Node Scorpio, North Node Taurus nodal axis, and also the Chiron archetype and the hero's journey, where we are detaching from states of victimhood out of any perceived lack of power, out of any perceived lack of value or lack of potential or lack of ability, and we are coming into a state of self-mastery based on this process of internalized alchemization and releasing ourselves from these state of victim complexes, and reclaiming that power and coming to the truth of ourselves. So that was just, I didn't mean to talk that long about Taurus and Scorpio on the nodes, but in the context of this eclipse season and this Scorpio season that we are in right now, I guess sort of wanted to bring back in the context of what this whole process and period of time is moving us towards and doing generally anyways. But when we talk about, when we bring it back down to today and the fact that we are in this eclipse cycle, this is the period of time, I feel like, where what is being eclipsed for us, or what we are coming to a point of release, is really having to do with that which has been keeping us from embracing the truth of our value. Anything also like frivolous or shallow or surface level, or like ways that we have like overcomplicated our lives, or disregarded or like molded ourselves into certain images for status or for, you know, maintaining some type of an image or for, you know, monetary purposes or something like that. I feel like a lot of that stuff is sort of being removed, or we're moving away from in this energy as well. And with this Venus South Node conjunction coming in today, I feel like this is definitely us sort of ripping the band-aid off a lot of things that may have been like, brewing or festering sort of deep under the surface of things. This is also very much, like I said, representing fated endings that need to happen so that we can go through this essential like process of rebirth and recreating our world and the world around us, and specifically our relationships, in a way that is much more conducive to our personal like fulfillment and what we really need in this 222 year again, right? To feel this sense of fulfillment in that which we are relating with in our lives. So unexpected. We have Uranus in play today as well. Venus is in an opposition to Uranus. This is not exact. There is a 4-degree orb, but it is still pretty significant. And Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So Uranus is in Venus's sign right now, and Venus is coming into the opposition with Uranus and in the exact opposition to the North Node today, because of course she's in conjunction to the South Node. The North Node and South Node are in exact opposition. And Venus is in the exact opposition to the North Node today as well. But I do feel like there could be some unexpected, sudden endings that are happening today. But ultimately, whatever is playing out along those lines in this energy is going to be for the best somehow, or to help us become something that we have been unable to do for ourselves up until this point in time, but is necessary for our growth now and going forward. This could also really be highlighting past relationships, past connections, past traumas. There could be a lot of very deep emotions as a result of relationship traumas, or like toxic patterns of relating with others, codependent type issues. Like these type of things could really be surfacing today. One, you know, so that we can gain awareness and go through this process of release, but also just because this is like what is coming up. These cycles are concluding, they're coming to an end. And so there may just be some relevance along these lines in terms of these issues today. Things that we are hearing and finding out also that make us sort of put an end to things. There's also an interesting dynamic that is playing out in the beginning of the day alongside of this South Node conjunction that we have going on in the sign of Scorpio. And that is that the moon is going to start the day in the later degrees of Aquarius, forming a trine to Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini. And so this could actually be, like I said, like hearing something or gaining some information, or, you know, being at the right place at the right time to pick up on something in some type of way that actually inspires us to like swing our sword or like make these endings. Maybe we could be playing a more active role in the endings that are coming about today in one way or another as a result of this informational or conversational or something that we are learning or finding out dynamic or component that could be like going on in the context of all of this today. Our mind could also be quite on fire to start the day with the Aquarius moon energy trining Mars and Gemini. Moon trining Mars, this is often a very just like inspired, motivated, more courageous type of energy. We're talking about air signs. So this is generally, like I said, in the realms of ideas or communication or conversations or interactions or encounters or something that we are having. We may be feeling just sort of like inspired or motivated or fired up in one way or another to say something or to have a conversation that has to do with, you know, these things. Again, things could also be very much coming back from the past in this energy, but it is definitely likely to be geared towards what we are ending, what we are no longer wanting anything to do with, what we are moving away from. Passions could be running quite high in this energy today as well. Energy could be like pretty high as we are starting the day today. Although I will tell you guys, this will shift as we get about halfway through the day. The moon will leave Aquarius and enter Pisces. And this is actually going to bring us into a very psychic energy, a very sensitive energy. Today, later through the day, is a very good day to talk to God, and we may be needing to, because this is also likely to be a very emotional energy as well once the moon leaves the sign of Aquarius and moves into the sign of Pisces. But again, that is not how we are starting our day, and that is something that we are going to be dealing with like about halfway through the day or so. But we are likely to be really saying how we feel today and not holding back so much. And we kind of need to be like a little bit weary about this, because we do need to remember Mars has recently stationed retrograde. People are going to be having a very hard time controlling their temper as well. With Mars retrograde, this is perhaps just like some reckless anger that could be going on, or frustration, like people sort of unable to like maintain a level of self-control over like some anger. And with the trine to the moon and air signs, we could really see some fits of rage playing out today as well, that again could play into these endings somehow. And Mars is also, in a square to Neptune right now. People could also be quite delusional about some of their understandings at this period of time, that could really be making them act out as well. So we really kind of, although we do have this moon trine going on, and the moon is in Aquarius, you guys, so this is really aligning us with that authentic truth on an emotional level, and like a need with Mars in the sign of Gemini to like assertively communicate that, like to assert our own individuality, like this emotional attachment to that. So, people could really be dealing and struggling with some ego issues today, some lack of self-control, especially, or just an inability to control what's coming out of our mouth or our emotions too, in the context of perhaps some of these endings that may also be playing out or going on. But there is a great likelihood that we are finding out the truth about things somehow in this energy as well, most likely again pertaining to things that have been going on in relationship or financial dynamics. Now, it's very interesting as well, because we are talking about a cycle where Venus was combust the sun in the sign of Scorpio. And this is also like really getting to the core, really getting to the root of things, especially things that have been unclear or that have been hidden in the realms of love and money. And so again, this aspect and the energy that we have going on today is emphasizing that whole theme and concept that was indicated with the way that our new moon in Scorpio and that eclipse lined up. Releasing or ending patterns and toxic relationships. Like I said, this is definitely what is being emphasized through what we have going on and playing out this whole Scorpio cycle, this whole eclipse season that we have currently, but also this day specifically. This could have to do with relationship dynamics. This could also have to do with things to do with money, finances, resources, food as well. But it could also have to do with like addictions, like addictive or obsessive compulsive behavior about stuff as well. There could be like an emphasis or a theme on that. We could be really like, it could really be just like in our face today in one way or another, the things that are having any type of power or control over us, or anywhere we are feeling out of control of our own ability to do what is in our best interest, to, this Venus energy as well. Venus in the sign of Pluto, Scorpio, right? In the South Node. Where have we been working against ourselves and like our own best interests and our own ability to use our own potential to make the most of ourselves? Like, it's this whole process of going from, and I've said this before in several of my other videos, going from being a passive consumer to a conscious creator. That is the transition. Also, it's self-actualization, yes. It's this hero's journey, yes. But that also translates into us, like I said, activating our potential, becoming a conscious creator that is fueled by what we are recognizing, our gifts, our talents, our abilities, our interests, our passions are, and capitalizing on those instead of just like sort of sitting back and consuming other people's creations, okay? We are transitioning from a collective that has been more passive, right? This Pisces energy, this age that we are transitioning out of, to an age of self-knowledge, self-mastery, self-empowerment, the age of Aquarius. So of course that would be the natural transition, the natural progression. And this energy, you guys, I feel like is doing a lot to activate that within us. Generally, letting go of things that made us feel bad about ourselves and re-embracing our personal value and our self-worth. We are waking up, you guys. Venus opposite Uranus in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. We are waking up to the truth of our own potential and where we've been sleeping on ourselves, where we have been detached from our own like beauty, from our own self-love and our own ability to become the, God's divine vision of us because of an inability to recognize that within ourselves. No more, no more, not going forward, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. So we are awakening to the truth of our own value and potential, and we are choosing that. We are choosing that value. We're choosing that potential over being attached to what is not good for us or what is not true to us anymore. This could also, with the South Node being emphasized today, this could be bringing up karmic themes in relationships and finances very much as well. This could also represent financial loss. On one hand, we're talking about this South Node. This is what we're surrendering, what we're detaching from, what we're moving away from. Venus ruling finances and money. This could definitely represent some type of financial loss, or it could just impact these Taurus themes generally. Resources, food also could be playing into this whole thing somehow, but resources, supply chains, economies, food, yeah, all this stuff that grows from the earth, and just material like possessions, like all this Taurus type stuff. And it just generally could be bringing things back around somehow. We could be feeling like it's Groundhog's Day, or like we're reliving some type of pattern, or experiencing like some type of deja vu or something like that. But what is coming up, the patterns that are coming up now, are to help us understand or gain an awareness of that which we need to sever ties from at this period of time, so that we can do ourselves a solid, this Taurus energy, and go towards this next phase of growth. Also, like I said, we do have this Moon Mars situation going on. Moon in Aquarius in the trine to Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini. We may be feeling pretty motivated and fired up about something, inspired in some type of a way, or especially along the lines of ideas. There may be some idea that is really like inspiring us and like keeping our focus on what we need to fix in order to move forward in some type of a way. But again, it's going to most likely have to do with what we are moving away from and what we are also releasing ourselves from. But like I said, soon after that, the moon will move into Pisces, which is another sign about release, surrender, loss potentially. So we've got sort of a double doozy of that energy going on once we get more like midway through the day and the moon leaves the sign of Aquarius. But we need to lean on our faith today, you guys, because like I said, this is also a very strong psychic energy that we're going to be having coming through. We need to be able to trust that things are unfolding according to a higher plan. We have Mercury right now in the early degrees of Scorpio. The moon is going to be transiting the early degrees of Pisces. So that's going to give us a moon Mercury trine going on in water signs, Pisces and Scorpio, you guys. Mercury, this is the mind. This is the messenger planet. This is our thoughts. This is our ideas. The moon, this is our intuition. This is our emotions. This is a trine aspect. This is a beautiful, supportive, facilitating blend of emotions streamlined into our actual like cognitive mind in connection to these like deeper, more spiritual planes of things. Okay, we're talking about the sign of Scorpio, this very deep penetrating insight. We are talking about the moon in the sign of Pisces, this very strong intuition. This is a beautiful blend of some really hardcore, like spiritually and psychically connected energy today that is coming through in ways that we can tangibly like relate with it on both an emotional and a mental level, and is facilitating and assisting our process somehow today. So, if we are feeling very emotional, which we could be in the context of all of this surrender and loss and endings, divinely aligned though, there is this huge divine hand of God spiritual emphasis that is going on. But the message ultimately, like where we sort of escape the maze and everything today, it's really about surrendering the burden to the divine and falling back on our faith. I surrender the burden to the Christ within and I go free, and asking for guidance, asking for advice, talking to God. Like with Mercury in Scorpio and the trine to the moon in Pisces, there's really not a stronger, more supportive and assisting aspect for relating with, talking to God, receiving spiritual guidance and assistance. And we also have Neptune right now, the ruler of the sign of Pisces, at a materializing medium giving a seance. So that is also talking about how thin the veil is right now and our ability to really unite with God and receive some very perhaps significant assistance or guidance as we are navigating what again could be a more difficult emotional energy today, almost cathartic perhaps in the context of these endings that may be coming as well. But reflecting, you guys, we're talking about the opposition to Taurus, the opposition to the North Node, the opposition to Uranus, reflecting on what we truly value and how to recreate or escape with this Pisces moon energy coming in as well, what we don't. Very strong and inspired ideas coming through to start this day with this trine between the moon and Mars on how to redo things. That might be another dimension of sort of what is playing out today. We may realize that we are coming to this ending and that we're coming to this closure point and that things are about to change or shift radically, but we're also getting maybe this inspiration that is coming through or these ideas about what we can do to recreate or to rebuild or to rework or to just redo or change some dynamic of either how we're acting or how we're behaving or how we're doing things or what we've created already to make it more suiting to these deeper truths that we are discovering as well in regards to the value and the worth that we are recognizing within us and what that translates into in terms of our lack of desire to surrender or submit power anymore because we don't need the external validation to the same extent that we used to. We are waking up to the truth of our own value, and therefore we are no longer as dependent or reliant on the external validation of others, which is what is bringing us to this point of being able to sever these ties, walk away, detach, and go through this process of these divinely aligned endings coming together at this point in time. So a day, you guys, of divine realignments, and what is meant for me, I cannot lose. What is not truly meant for me, I do not want anyways. That is the memo from God today. That is the message coming through. And I feel like that's sort of just the attitude overall that we need to have as we're going through this energy today, because it is time to sort of move on from that which has been maybe feeling comfortable, maybe something that we're very used to, but not allowing us to become who we've always meant to be. Okay, so day of divine realignments. We are being saved and we are being prepared to bloom, actually. Listen to the Sabian symbols, some of the Sabian symbols we have playing out today. We have Venus today, of course, the lady in the limelight, coming into the conjunction with the South Node. That Sabian symbol where they are is 14 degrees of Scorpio. That Sabian symbol is telephone linesman at work installing new connections. So yeah, today may be a day of some fated or necessary endings or realignments, but it's for the purpose of what, you guys? It's for the purpose of these new connections, these new alignments that are in the process of being installed and working themselves out on this 222 day in this 222 year that is really trying to align us with what, you guys? With that which is going to bring us a much greater sense of fulfillment and just feeling happy within our heart and soul. So we've got that going on, being spoken about by whatever is playing out today. So we have to go through the ending to get to the new beginning, and that's where we're at. And then we're also in some 11-11 energy today. We have the sun at 11 degrees of Scorpio. That Sabian symbol is a drowning man being rescued. All this Scorpio energy, right? And then we have the earth at 11 degrees of Taurus, a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers. So like I said, ultimately we are being saved through whatever we're walking away from or whatever endings are coming about right now. And not only that, we are preparing to bloom, okay? The woman sprinkling long rows of flowers. So that's what I have to say for our astrology today, you guys. I do think that today is one of those days that is doing quite a bit in terms of moving us along this process of transitioning out of our old paradigms and our old lives and our old worlds and our old ways of thinking and acting and behaving and relating to others and to ourselves, and awakening us to our personal truth, to our personal value, to our potential and capabilities, helping us to detach ourselves from that which is standing in the way or blocking our progress from moving along that direction. And I think we actually, you guys, have a lot to look forward to and a lot to be excited about moving forward. The end of this month of November is going to bring some blessings blessings with it. And we've just got to get through this next couple of weeks, get through these more difficult experiences so that we can open up and expand into that which universe is trying to bring to us next. So very interesting times that we are in, you guys. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. Honestly, this message is sort of like a direct reflection of what's playing out in terms of the astrology. We're talking about a bit of heartbreak. We're talking about discovering some deception or some just lack of straightforwardness, or some cheating, or some lying, or some just more shady type of stuff that's been going on. We may really be caught back in some experiences related to the past today that have been stealing our power, perhaps. Let's talk about these cards, you guys. The first card that we had coming out today was the Three of Swords. And with Venus in the South Node together, opposite Uranus in this eclipse window that had Venus eclipse, this is not very surprising to me. I do feel like we are in, like I said, fated endings in relationships, and this could really be bringing up some painful emotional experiences or some heartbreak that we're dealing with today. But, you know, what is this having to do with the Seven of Swords in reverse? The Seven of Swords, this is a card of trickery, deceit, lying, cheating, trying to get away with something. But when it's in reverse, to me, this is, you know, that type of behavior perhaps being exposed. We also have the Page of Swords on the back of the deck, which can be like a spy card, or like about finding something out, or hearing something, or getting a new insight into something in one way or another. So we could be finding out in this energy some things that really break our heart, or we could also, it could be betrayal as well, which could, that we're finding out about right now, which could be contributing to these feelings as well. Now, the other cards that we have coming out, we've got the Six of Cups, you guys. This is the card of the past. This is about reminiscing. This is about nostalgia. This is about stuff to do with childhood, past memories. This is also, you know, what we truly loved. There could be some, you know, things from the past, or we could be finding out about some things from the past, perhaps, or there could be some people from the past that, you know, some things are coming up about, but there's an element of either betrayal or deception or lack of honesty, or just stealing power as well. Then after that, we had the Five of Swords coming out. So, and this is also a card about sabotage and about stealing power and about betrayal as well. So there's just these themes of sabotage and betrayal and stealing power and lying, cheating, deception in regards perhaps to things from the past, or to things that we've truly loved, or to things that we've been attached to for a long period of time that are breaking our heart, that maybe are coming up in this energy today. And then the last card that we had, you guys, was the Four of Wands in reverse. This is the card of like the happy home and the happy family, right? This is that very strong Taurus energy, celebrating and enjoying that which we've built together based on this divine partnership. This is also the 1111 card. If you see these four wands here, they're representing an 1111. We are also in 11-2-2-2, very strong mirror day. And we also have the sun and the earth at 1111 today. And we have this card coming out in reverse. The stability could be shaking as a result of what we're finding out. This could have to do with family. This could have to do with community. This could have to do with friend groups. This could have to do with the foundations that we've built for ourselves, or any type of partnership dynamics generally that we're involved in. So, I mean, this is exactly what I would expect the cards to look like on a day where we are in Scorpio season, in an eclipse period, with the South Node in Scorpio, Venus conjuncting the South Node, opposite Uranus in Taurus, opposite the North Node in Taurus. This is exactly the type of reading that I would expect to see, and I would expect that on a collective level, a lot of people are struggling with some very hurt heart today about maybe some things that are coming to an end as a result of, you know, like I said, Page of Swords on the back of the deck, finding out some things, or some conversations, or some communication, or hearing something. Also this Moon Mars Trine energy that is exposing something to us or opening our eyes about something in some type of a way having to do with the past or what we've loved in the past, what we've been committed to that is upside down, and finding this out. You know, we need to detach ourselves now. We've also got all this sword energy, right? We've got the 5 of swords, we've got the 3 of swords, we got the 7 of swords, we got the page of swords. What do swords do, you guys? Swords slice things. What day are we in? We are in a day of fated endings. We are cutting the cords to the things that have been keeping us in a state of 4 of Wands in reverse. This is also out of alignment with our true soulmates. This is also out of alignment with that 222 energy and what is bringing us that true fulfillment, and in a state of heartbreak. So having to do with the past. So that's what I got to say, you guys. The cards are completely validating the energy out there. And for any of you who are going through this experience, like I said, the benefit of the way the energy is playing out today is, on one hand, with this Moon Trine Mars energy, we are getting, some ideas. If we can lean out of the emotions a little bit and lean into, looking forward to the future, the moon in the sign of Aquarius, and what the possibilities are that we can create, even, as we are going through these more difficult times, and sort of, try to hone in on how we can redo things in a way that is more in alignment with the truths about ourselves and the values that we're really discovering now. Like, this is a way that we can navigate this. And also, like I said, this very psychic and spiritually connected energy, like, talk to God, pray, ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for signs, signals. Like, God is very, very there for us, very, very supportive of us right now. And again, like I said in the very beginning, I'm going to reiterate it one more time. 3 is a charm. What is meant for me, I cannot lose. What is not meant for me, I don't truly want anyways, okay? This is our focus today. Let's grab one more card, a synchronicity card, God, Spirit, Universe. One last piece of advice that we can use that will benefit us as we are going through this energy today. And here's one that just flipped up, and it says, you guys, do not waver. So anybody that needs to hear that today, the advice is do not waver, perhaps in the context of these endings or these conversations that need to happen. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. James 1:6. When an opportunity is knocking at your door, grab it and go forward. Don't try to make up your mind about it. If it's there and it pertains to something for which you have been wishing, grab it, go forward, have joy in your new life. Find it very interesting that we're also talking about a new life today in the context of that which we are detaching from in this South Node energy as well. So that is the advice from God, Spirit, Universe, message from the stars, message from the cards. Hope you guys liked it. I hope there was something in there for you that can benefit you somehow as you're going through your day today. If you guys did like it, please give me that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. Love your comments. Really, very much so appreciate you being here. I love hearing how this energy is affecting you, what you guys have going on, how these transits are manifesting in your own lives. A Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other socials. Those are in my description box below if you're into any of that. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We will have more energy to talk about as we are navigating our eclipse window and heading towards our full moon in Taurus that is going to be coming up in the 8th. It's going to be a big one. I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, guys. And I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day. Bye, guys.